Welcome to sewing class. I'm Annette Julie, and today we are going to be working on the whip stitch. This is hand sewing, and I want you to go ahead on your hand sewing swatch project, turn up the far left side 1/4 of an inch and press, and then turn up 1/2 inch and press. Feel free to go ahead and draw the lines. I have drawn them and then gone ahead and pressed them up. We've got 1/4 and then 1/2 of an inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prepare my thread for my whip stitch. I need my wax. I need my hand sewing needle. And I need some black Gutermann thread, and I'm going to give myself a good yard, and I'm going to wax my thread. I'm going to go ahead and wax the end, and I'm going to thread my needle. For this whip stitch, you can make this a single or double ply of thread. I'm going to make this a double ply. I'm going to tie several knots, and I'm going to trim nice and close and trim my thread legs. Now I'm going to take my wax and I'm going to wax my thread from the knot down to the eye of the needle. So from the knot down to the eye of the needle, and we have our thread prepared. Now the whip stitch is a stitch that just wraps around the edge. It's one of the quickest stitch, hence they call it a whip stitch. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to unfold and we're going to hide our knot right in there, right in our little fold mark, so that when we go ahead and place this back, we don't see the knot. Now if you'd like to, you could go ahead and use pins up and down your pressed seam to hold this in place until you get there. Now we're going to anchor our stitch all the way through to the other side. I've hidden the knot. I'm making a very small stitch coming right back up in the same place, and I've anchored it. The knot is hidden inside that fold. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a little bit of the fold, and then I'm going to go up about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, grab some of the body of the garment and the fold. Body of the garment and the fold. Body of the garment and a little bit of that fold line. So you can see this stitch goes very quickly. We've already done a couple of inches. In the back we should just have little teeny dots of thread. Hardly anything should be showing on the back, or excuse me, on the face. We are sewing on the inside, which is the wrong side of the fabric right now, and we're making our whip stitch. going up about 3/8 of an inch. Like I said, you can do 1/4 or you can do 3/8, but just make it consistent the whole way to the other side. Grabbing a little of the body of the garment, a little of that folded edge. I think I'll put some more wax on my thread. We're going to go up another 3/8, catch the body of the garment, which is our large swatch, and the edge of our hem. Up another 3/8 of an inch, body of the garment, just a couple little stitches. This stitch can be used to do a hem for a pair of pants or a curtain, but whatever you're doing, this is going to be a very fast stitch, hence called the whip stitch. So this might be an emergency stitch when you are maybe having your child work on be in a costume for a play, and maybe something rips and somebody's in the back and they do a whip stitch real quick and whip it together and send the child out to continue working, doing their play or their musical in their costume. This would also be a great stitch if a bride was to rip out the hem of her skirt on her wedding day. Someone could quickly whip stitch the hem together. And like I said, you can use 1 or 2 threads. I chose to use 2 threads so we could see my stitches a little easier. I'm approaching the end, so I'm going to remove my pin. Little of the body of the garment, little of the fold, and now we're ready to make our last stitch. Let's see what that whip stitch looks like. Let's see what the right side looks like, little dots of thread. Now we're here at the end of the seam. Let's go through to the right side of the fabric. Come right back up to the wrong side and we're anchoring it. And then we're going to go into the fold and now we have our thread that's inside the fold, and we're going to tie a knot and finish this, but have the knot be hiding inside of our fold. And this is our whip stitch. This is Annette Julie, and I look forward to seeing you in one of my next videos.